Welcome, friends and fellow adventurers. I'm Alex Reid, your DM and guide for Cocked, a Real Play D&D podcast. Before we get started with the cast introductions, I think it's important to inform you that while the party is level 3 now, they did not start that way. They came together and tackled a major problem hinted at in this first episode. Each cast member and character they play is dealing with some heavy emotions and working through them in their own way. In time, this early arc will be released to Patreon subscribers as prequel material. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into these cast introductions. Sit back and enjoy the very first episode of Cocked, a Real Play D&D podcast.
Hi everyone, I'm Reggie Morris and I'll be playing Brakka Ultim, a 2-foot-tall kobold with purple scales and gold spots. Brakka is from a tribe of kobolds from the peak of the Windthane Mountains who is gifted with incredible intellect. Brakka is an artificer that specializes in the creation of elixirs which can range from healing tonics to harmful toxins, whichever the situation calls for in his eyes. Brakka can never be spotted without some sort of vial on his side or on his hand, constantly creating new things or improving previous creations. Brakka wears darker brown leather clothing with a set of circular glasses that are clearly too large for his face.
He also has a cute little pitter-patter when he comes to Kadie.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Jessica Reid. I play Kadie, a dragonborn fighter who was raised within the Tavara Monastery. She is 6'5" and has mostly white scales with purple hues throughout her body. She has lavender eyes and an innocent expression. Kadie doesn't realize how intimidating her expressions or demeanor are from just the fact of her being a dragonborn. She also wears a gi, which is the traditional garb worn within the monastery walls. She also has a leather cord around her neck that holds a ring that her mother gave her. And she carries 2 morning stars she took from the monastery armory when she left.
Hi, this is Alex Groves. I play Aegard, the Firbolg Druid. Aegard hails from the great Manacroft Forest of Manassas, a place he and his fellow Firbolg call Homewood. Aegard is 8 feet tall with blue skin, pink nose, and pink pointed ears. He is now far from home, which is unusual for Firbolg. While he misses his home, his people, and his family, his desire to explore the world beyond Homewood greatly outweighs his people's expectations of him.
Hi, I'm Connor Joyner. I play Ibron Ironmane, a Leonin Ranger. He's roughly 6'11" with tawny brown fur, and his mane is black with grayish gold tips. He hails originally from Sansano Island, also known as Pride Island, and he wears dark brown leather armor with a shoulder pauldron on his left arm, which is his bow arm. Originally, he was born into the Flintclaw Pride, and then after his parents were killed during the Pride Wars, he was adopted by the Ironmane Pride and raised as a ranger.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex Reid, co-founder of the Face Roll and DM for Cocked, a Real Play D&D podcast. I'll be your guide through this campaign and will be portraying basically everyone else in the Lands of Manassas other than these 4. Without further delay, let's join the party and get this show on the road. We now join the party in the woods north of the city, Port Savorsa. They have taken a much-needed rest and must now go back to Port Savorsa to confirm that they have handled the rat problem as agreed between Brakka and Quincy Haddock, the leader of the Savorsan Port Authority, or SPA. So you guys are in the woods north of Port Savorsa. You found a little cave to sleep in. While some of you did try to stay up and take watch, it was a very long last 2 days that you guys all kind of, much to your efforts, still fell asleep and had a long rest. So you guys did sleep pretty heavy, pretty hard. You guys are waking up. It's sunny out. It's probably 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And you guys are kind of coming to, you all kind of feel those emotions rush back of the last couple days. And you're starting to get up for the day.
Kadie's gonna take a couple minutes after she wakes up. She's in the cave near Brakka, so she's gonna take a few minutes and kind of walk a little bit further away from Brakka and just kind of meditate to herself for a little bit to get her emotions in check and make sure that she can continue on with the day.
And I'd say Aegard usually is up with the sun, but even he let himself sleep in a little bit just to, do that little extra rest, because it was a hard few days. But he wakes up refreshed, still thinking about everything that happened, but ready to kind of move on and tackle the day. So to start off, he's just going to go ahead and cast Goodberry. You guys can partake if you want, but it's basically gives you nourishment for the day. You can still eat if you want, but nourishment for the day, and we're at full hit points now, so it's not going to help us there. But it's just kind of he starts the day.
You make like 10 when you cast that, correct?
I actually need to roll to see how many I make.
Well, okay.
So maybe not everybody might get one.
So maybe not everybody will have a bite.
No, I got 8.
Oh,
You
So
got 8?
yeah,
I'll take one.
yep. So I'll give you each one if you want, and yeah.
Brakka, when he wakes up, he's just gonna mess with his elixirs and whatnot. Kind of just, I don't know, just do the normal stuff he does with his elixirs before he starts, like prepping multiple doses of poison spray, messing with his experimental elixirs and whatnot. Pretty much on his side right now, and probably like a couple vials. It's just this like clear, like non-magical fluid. And I'm just essentially preparing that for the day. And like on my other hip, I have just like in pouches, just essentially just like random little like things to put in them to like maybe activate an effect.
Ibron has been up in the tree all night. Basically, as soon as pre-dawn hits, he's up. And really what he's been doing is just thinking about the last couple days, and he's had to do a couple of things that kind of bothered him. And so what he's doing is he's just cleaning the tips of his arrows, just getting the blood off, because to him blood is a reminder of what he does, and it's not the greatest reminder.
Brakka will also, assuming we stay here for like an hour or something, he'll make alchemist supplies with his right tool for the job thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys can stay there for half an hour to an hour if you want, and then venture into the city, if that's what you guys would like to do. So you guys all kind of wake up for the day, you start prepping your stuff, like you guys had all mentioned and that stuff, and once you're all packed up and prepared and ready, you guys can head towards the north gate.
Are we ready to go?
I'm ready if you are.
I'm ready.
All right.
All right. Yep. So we
Start
head off.
walking.
Yeah.
To make a point too, Brakka is on the ground. He's not on my shoulder at this point. Not yet.
Brakka's still messing with his
Yeah.
potions and whatnot, or elixirs, I mean.
So you guys approach the north gate. The gate is open. It is around 10 o'clock in the morning, so the gate is wide open. And as you approach, there's 2 guards, and one kind of gives you a look, because you guys are all, I mean, there's a furbolg, a kobold, a leonin, and a dragonborn all walking up. You're all,
It's like the beginning of a joke.
seem a little out of place, for this area. Now, it is a port city, so they do see quite a bit of different people coming in and out, but it is an odd group of the 4 of you guys together. You don't typically see all 4 of these races just kind of in a clump walking up like that. So he kind of holds his hand up and just says, what's your business in Port Savorsa?
I'll like, snap up, like all of a sudden paying attention. We're here to see Quincy.
Oh, are you the party that went in the sewers?
Yes.
Okay. And he kind of walks over to the other guard and whispers in his ear, and you see them kind of talk back and forth for a second, and he comes back and he's like, Quincy is waiting to see you, but he's a little busy at the moment. Is there something else you guys need to do in town first, or are you wanting to go straight to him?
There are other things I'd like to do since he's busy.
Okay. Where are you guys headed? Do you know?
I need to go buy writing supplies.
Do you guys have a place you guys stayed in town or anything like that? We can send
could go to Finley's.
If you guys go to Finley's, we can send a guard when he's ready to escort you back.
We can go
That'll be fine.
to Finley's for a little bit.
Do we know about how long it'll be?
I'm not sure. I'm not privy to all the information. I just know he stepped out probably about a half hour ago, and we're waiting. He was meeting with the mayor, and then he was going to come back. So,
Brakka, you want to go to Finley's, and then we'll go get your writing supplies?
Sure.
So they let you pass after that conversation, and you see the one head off to the Savorson Port Authority, or the SPA, to go let them know that you guys are back in town. And you guys pass through the gate. Nobody stops you. You guys are headed to Finley's.
Hmm?
So you guys get to Finley's. Are you guys using which door?
Oh.
Aegard's going to use the side window. Probably not. I think we'll use the main. I don't think
I was going to say
Yeah.
roll
Aegard can fit through
dexterity.
I was going to say, I think we would use the big door in this case, because...
Right.
So you open the door and you enter into Finley's, and you notice it's pretty empty for this time of day. Finley is behind the bar, kind of messing around with stuff, but it's just him. You don't see his brother Falder just yet. And Finley looks up and he's, "Oh, hey guys, how you guys doing?"
We are well.
Yeah, for the most part.
Haven't seen you in a few days. Or you guys looking for a bite to eat?
Just some water for me, please.
Water?
Water would be good.
Water, please.
What they said.
Okay. And he kind of motions to a table. It's kind of in the middle of everything if you guys want. But it's also, I mean, you guys can sit wherever. It's wide open. So he goes back behind the bar and kind of gets you some water and comes back to the table, and he walks over and he says, so I gotta admit, Brakka, I overheard your conversation with Quincy. Were you guys able to take care of the problem in the sewers?
Yeah.
No. And he kind of sets the water down, and he's like, are you sure there's nothing I could get you guys food-wise or anything like that?
I am not hungry at this time. Could you tell us? We are waiting to meet Quincy here at some point. Brakka, you were looking for paper?
And vials. I just need stuff before we leave, since Quincy wants us gone.
Do you know places in town where we could acquire such things?
Finley's like, yeah. There's, if you're looking for, like, paper and magic ink, or are you just looking for just regular paper? What are you guys looking for?
Just the regular stuff. Just
regular? Well, the Bates Hook is a general store. The Wishbone is a magic store. You guys met and saved Sillerin, who owns Rainbow Trousers. She may not have any paper, but, he kind of looks around at some of you guys have some tattered clothes, and he's like, you need somebody to patch up some clothes. Maybe some new clothes if needed.
Brakka just kind of shrugs.
Do they do it for free?
Not normally, no.
Is there anything you all want to go? I realize I'm kind of just saying things I want to do.
Oh, there was that store, remember, that I picked you up to look in the window?
That's the magic shop.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the secret room store?
Yeah, I want to go see that one. I thought that we could,
I am interested in the secret room.
I want to know what's back there, too.
Brakka's just gonna whisper, I'm pretty sure it's just a bedroom. I'm pretty sure it's just a bedroom.
Actually, I have an idea. Remind me, if we need to get into that secret room, I have an idea.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we'll need to get into the secret room.
But how else will we know what it is back there?
Why do we need to know?
What if it had something to do with the were-rat problem? I mean, we want to make sure that it's completely done, right?
Everybody roll perception.
Is
Yeah, speaking to my character.
I rolled a natural 1.
7.
Aegard fell asleep.
18.
19.
So, Brakka and Ibron, you guys see Finley standing at the table looking super confused because you guys are talking about secret rooms and everything, and he's just like,
Oh,
Is there something we can
weren't
help
being
you with?
quiet, were we?
oh, well, I mean, we were having a conversation, and then you guys, I asked if there's anywhere I could help you find, and you started talking about secret rooms, and there's
So sorry, Finley. We
I know,
thought you left.
I know where the magic shop is. We know where the tailor is, I think.
you could also try the Tides of Time, the bookstore for paper. And he just kind of turns, like, really confused and just walks behind the bar, like, back away from you guys.
I'm not interested in the bookstore, but
I don't know much of books, but
they're not.
you want paper that isn't already used, correct?
Correct.
But they could possibly use paper to print their books or write their books out.
I mean, if there are blank books, that'd be ideal.
I feel the
Oh.
general store would be. Oh, yes, maybe they have journals.
Brakka just nods.
Okay, so there's a couple stops that we want to make.
Sure. The
So
general
secret room and then paper.
Exactly.
Brakka's just gonna. He's not gonna say anything out loud. He's just gonna like kind of sigh. Just like he's gonna sigh with like a grin on his face. Like, I'm pretty sure it's just a bedroom.
So, everybody make another perception check real quick.
Is he still there? Just standing at our table?
He walked behind the bar.
22.
22.
15.
21.
16.
Okay, so you all notice it. So, you notice that he was kind of standing behind the bar doing stuff, and he looks up, and at this point, some of your water levels are lower. So he goes and he brings like a little like pitcher, and he kind of walks over and he waits to like make eye contact with all of you, almost like he's waiting for you to tell him he can come over, because he trusts you guys, but he doesn't want to know everything. So he's just kind of like holding up a pitcher, like waiting for approval.
Brakka's just gonna say, "You're not interrupting anything."
Oh, okay. And he kind of walks over and he starts pouring the waters into your cups, and he looks at Aegard and he says, Aegard, by the way, no hard feelings about the door. I know you're not really, or you don't seem to be from like a main city, so I don't think you did it maliciously. It took me a little bit to think about, but I know you're just looking for your friend. But next time, if you just ask me, I can unlock the doors. I'd appreciate it.
Certainly.
But-
And I do apologize for that. I do understand that's not the right thing to do. However, I was worried for my friend and wasn't thinking clearly. So I will do my best to accommodate your ways. And
He kind of nods and he's like, yeah,
I do
thank
actually
you.
have something for you and your brother
Oh,
as an apology. And he reaches off his belt and he has pulled out a pouch.
Mhm.
And it's that kind of mix of herbs and stuff that he's been using and things and he gives it to Finley. And your brother may want to use this when he cooks. This is some original herb from my home, and then things I've gathered along the way. It does help. So
these are like special spices from where are you from?
north, the
North?
Manacraft Forest. Yeah.
Oh, the Manacroft Forest.
Yes, the Manacroft Forest.
Well, thank you. He kind of you see it. He kind of cheers up a little bit.
Sorry. Yeah.
You see he kind of cheers up when you hand it to him, and he's got a little bit of a waddle, like a happy waddle in his step, and he kind of goes back behind the bar and kind of sets it to the side a couple places and moves it so that it can be used.
Aegard, that was really nice. That will really help their food.
I did behave in a way that was inappropriate, so I appreciate his words, and from what I heard of the fish, it won't hurt.
Yes. It will greatly improve, I'm sure.
I also need to get my armor and my swords repaired while we're here.
It's at this point you see Finley kind of waddle back to your table, Yeah, there's a blacksmith. It's actually, you guys, how'd you guys come into the city?
Through the north gate.
Oh, he's right by the north gate. So if you head back that way and just look to the left of it, he's right there.
Is there a leather worker in town who could repair my armor?
You might talk to the blacksmith. If he doesn't know anybody, maybe head to Rainbow Trouser. She might be able to mend the stuff.
Well, it's studded leather armor, so there is some metal in it.
She's one of the few people I know that's pretty good at sewing stuff and getting stuff like that back in. So I would, if the blacksmith doesn't know, I would try her and see if maybe she has some contacts in the city. I'm not sure as far as that goes.
It's nothing urgent, but I like my armor.
Yeah, check with the blacksmith. He should be able to help you.
Thank you, sir.
Finley, I feel as though we have a lot of things to do. Could you do us a favor? If Master Quincy or one of his guards comes for us, tell them that we are in town trying to take care of a few odds and ends, and we'll return here as soon as we are done.
Absolutely. You guys are, I mean, if you took care of the problem in the sewers, so as far as I'm concerned, you guys are heroes in this city. So if you guys ever need anything, Finley's is always open for you.
Appreciate that. Thank you for that.
That's much appreciated.
So should we go? Can we go? It sounds like yours might take the longest.
Yeah,
Ibron.
so I'm going to go ahead and go out ahead of everyone because it's a bit of a walk, and I also want to talk with the blacksmith a little bit. So I will catch up to the group.
So as you walk out, a guard does start to stop you at the door, and after your conversation, Finley was still standing at the table. You three that were still at the table, you see Finley quickly, I mean, you've never seen a halfling move this fast in your life, dart to the door, and he's like, excuse me, the heroes of Port Savorsa need to get some provisions, but as soon as they're done, I will personally escort them to Quincy if that's okay. And the guard kind of looks at me and he's like, well, Quincy told me to bring them now, it's urgent. And he's like, no, they need to get some provisions. They're just trying to fix their armor and stuff, and I think for what they've done for this city, you can give them half an hour to an hour to get their stuff together. He kind of looks at him and looks confused, and you see Finley lean in and kind of whisper something to him, and the guard's eyes kind of open wide, and he just turns and walks away and heads back towards the SPA.
Can we hear what he said?
Make a perception check. It's gonna be high because he did whisper.
Oh shit, not me. 8.
26.
22.
Oh.
5.
So
You're standing closest.
I know, right?
you two don't hear it, but you two
Kadie
do.
never hears it.
And he leans in real close, and you hear him, and he's like, "You remember that anniversary dinner you asked for?" And he just kind of, and you see his eyes kind of give him a look, and the guard like opens his eyes and then turns and runs off.
Oh,
Brakka's gonna kind of chuckle.
Blackmail at its finest.
So it's kind of what happened. And
As we're walking out, I just want to like tap Brock and be like, did you hear him? He said that we're heroes. That's so sweet. I love Finley.
And as Aegard walked past him, it reached down and give him a pat on the back and again say thank you. Finley.
of course, friends.
Oh, he called us friends.
Yeah, and when he says friends, Aegard's not gonna say anything, but Aegard is smiling really big.
His heart grew 3 sizes.
Ibron just kind of gives a small chuckle, something that's very rare, and he's gonna split off.
Oh, Ibron is getting more human.
Yeah.
And,
Don't get used to it.
and
Don't tell him that. No,
I know.
so Finley kind of sees you guys off and closes the door behind you and heads back to cleaning and doing what he was going to do. So you guys have left. You are headed to the blacksmith to get your armor checked.
Ibron, are you sure you're good on your own?
I'm fine. If I need help, you'll hear a roar.
Understood.
So you head to the blacksmith. It probably takes you about 10-15 minutes. We'll get that out of the way real quick, and then we'll come back to you three. So you head up there. You get there, and as you start approach, you can hear the banging. You can hear the tinking as he's creating things and kind of moving stuff around. You're approaching. You can smell the furnace. You smell that distinct smell of a blacksmith. Coal furnace burning.
Are you the blacksmith that Finley told me about?
Kind of turns around and he's like, I'm the only blacksmith I know of in Port Savorsa.
Well, can you... Well, I have a request.
Aye.
My swords were damaged in the sewers. Could you fix them for me? I'll gladly pay.
Let me see him. Kind of holds his hands out and reaches for him.
Ibron is going to pull him off of his back and turn him so the way he hands him hilt first to the blacksmith.
Can I just ask, since Aegard's not there, does he do like this really cool, like he pulls him out and does like a little flip thing?
Like a spin thing?
Yeah.
I just figured like everything
It's
you do
not-
is very...
Yeah.
It's not real.
I'll tell you what.
real showy.
No. I'm fine with that. Roll a performance check.
Oh, no, wait, that's not what I was asking.
Impales
Oh, no.
the
Look
blacksmith.
what you did,
No,
Alex.
no. It's
Look
just-
what you did. He's going to try to do this cool move, and
He's
it's
gonna
just
do
a
the
ball.
glad.
10?
Oh, no.
Well, 10's okay. It wasn't a 1, so
I'm sorry, that's not what I was trying to
And
do.
I have a -1 on
It's
performance
average.
too.
it's I mean you flip it, you kind of fumble it for a second, but then you catch it and flip it, and one of them you just caught it like with the nails on like right at the edge of the sword and flip it over so where the blunt end is against your hand, and then you extend them out. So you almost catch yourself, but you don't quite. You catch it and you flip it over. The blacksmith notices it, but like the untrained eye wouldn't notice that you fumbled it at all. You did it quick enough. So he kind of chuckles and smiles a little and takes them and looks them over, looks back at you, and he's like, "I can put an edge back on this, but it's going to cost you probably about 5 silver."
Done.
Kind of turns around and starts setting stuff up. It'll be about half an hour.
Well, I have another question for you.
Hi.
My leather armor was damaged a little bit.
Hmm.
Do you work on studded leather armor at all, or should I go see the tailor?
So where is, on the armor, where is the...
It's mainly his shoulder pauldron.
So you see him, he kind of walks up and he kind of looks at where like the marks are and that stuff, and he looks across it. And I don't know if you're going to find someone in town that can do a really good job, but I could piece it back together.
Anything is better than nothing, and it would be greatly appreciated.
If you take it off and leave it here, the swords will take about half an hour, but the armor will probably take me at least another one. So I'd say in about an hour I'll have everything ready.
Take as long as you need. We're in no hurry. He's trying to delay to give the other three plenty of time to do what they're going to do. But he's also wearing a undershirt, so he's not bare chested walking through
I was
town.
going to say, screw it.
So you leave your swords and
gosh.
your armor at the blacksmith. He's going to repair it. The three of you, where were you guys headed from Finley's?
Aegard's following, so wherever.
So we had Bait Hook, Wishbone, or Tides of Time. Did
Which
you
one
wanna
was the
try
general store?
Bait and
Wish-
Hook.
The bait hook.
Bait, yeah,
Bait Hook,
that
sorry.
one.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Aegard's there.
I mean, Brakka will he'll turn to you two and just go. Did you two want to go to the Wishbone to see the secret room?
Aegard
Yes.
and Kadie are like shaking their heads.
Yeah, we don't.
Yes.
neither of us says anything. We just look at Brakka and our heads are shaking like
Yes.
that.
Brakka, you can hear their brains bouncing back and
right.
forth. and how hard
Hey,
they're shaking their
wait
heads.
We're
a
not
second.
going that fast.
I don't have a -1 in intelligence.
Hey.
So yeah, so you guys all kind of convene at the front. Ibron goes off to go to the blacksmith, and you guys head to the Wishbone. Ibron, we're going to say that as you're leaving the blacksmith after your conversation is when you guys are arriving at the Wishbone. Because you guys weren't waiting for him.
No,
at Finley's,
no, we were
right?
just
You guys
gone.
were headed-
We
Okay.
left at the same time, I thought.
Yeah.
Yep. So you guys head to the Wishbone. As you walk through the city, you guys notice that it's starting to pick up with how busy it is. You see some of the ships starting to pull in. You can hear some of the bells ringing. You can hear a lot of yelling and screaming as they're onboarding and offboarding different crates and things like that. Nets full of fish. And as you guys are walking through the street, you guys can just have that ambiance of the docks. As you get closer and closer to the Wishbone, it gets louder and louder because it is right on the docks, basically.
Right.
So what's the plan when we get there? Are we like, how are we going to see the secret room?
Well, I don't know where it is. If it's not open, I have a way of where I can become very small
Oh,
and might be able to find a secret room, if there's a spot for it.
It, Brakka, where was it? It was in the back, right? It was at the very back of the store.
Just show me, Brakka, if there is someone there. Well, yeah.
What, should we have a code word or a signal? Like, should I point to the back?
Well,
I have an idea. When we get close to the store, tell me.
You two roll. You could see the room, right? It wasn't just Brakka.
I saw the room. Like, I remember where it's at. It's on the left side of the
okay.
of the store.
Roll a history check.
I'm pretty sure I saw it too. Since
I thought you both did.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll a
because I
history
was
check
holding
here.
him.
Yeah, you
22.
picked him up.
Did you?
What am I doing? History?
Yes.
14.
Okay, well, it was a 12 or above because it was recent.
Oh, yay.
You guys know that when you were looking, there were like 4 panels, basically, of bookshelves, and on the left side, not the farthest left, but the one,
The second?
yeah, the second one on the left side was the one that was cracked open.
Right.
But it wasn't cracked on the right side; it was cracked on the left side.
Oh.
So you guys do remember that it was
Inward
cracked
or
open,
outward?
Yeah, almost.
outward.
Yeah.
So it was into
It
the
pulls
store.
Out.
Yeah.
But you guys would remember that.
When we get close to the shop, let me know.
Yes.
Again, what's exactly the significance of finding or going inside of this room?
Kadie wants to see inside the secret room.
Don't you as well?
I do now. Kadie told me there was a secret room, and that sounds...
Yeah, mysterious and inviting.
Mhm.
Also, because we had to deal with the were-rat issue, we just want to make sure that maybe, secret room, they could be hiding something. We don't know where Cormier went or where her labs were set up. So I think it's just as the heroes, as Finley said, of Port Savorsa, it's our duty to make sure there's no other issues.
I think we're taking this hero title to...
I agree with
Brakka,
Kadie.
I want to go and see the secret room, okay?
I agree with Kadie. Aegard knows that she is justifying this 1,000%, and he is down. Just the whole time.
Just
yes.
nodding.
Just nodding his head like, yes, she's correct. Brakka, come on. I'm just asking for this one thing.
We will not cause trouble. I
No,
promise you that.
Of course not.
I didn't say no. You two can do what you want.
But you have to come.
I mean, I'll be there.
Okay. Just as long as you're
And
there.
you will have to most likely cause a distraction. And then he starts
Yes.
walking.
Brakka
Just kind of under his breath.
Brakka's just gonna sigh and just put his head down.
This is when Kadie will pick him up and be like, all right, Brakka, come on.
I pictured Kadie and Aegard almost skipping down the street.
That's why I picked him up.
Just giddy.
So you guys, Brakka, are you fine with Kadie picking you up?
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point,
We've
Brakka's fine with
established
the,
that relationship, DM.
I was just making sure that Brakka was giving consent
Brakka
this time, all
Brakka
right?
and
Jeez.
Kadie are best friends at this
So,
point.
Yeah.
so Kadie picks Brakka up.
Hate you.
So Kadie picks Brakka up and puts him on her shoulders, and you see that Kadie and Aegard are skipping. They're very excited, but you just see Brakka on the shoulders
I
a heavy sigh.
I'm like just shoulders just down, just head down, kind of just thinking just why exactly do we need to really know? I mean, he's going along with it kind of, but
Brakka's a little worried about what could happen, whereas the two of you are like, this is the best decision we could ever make. So
love it.
as you're walking down the street, you see a sign that basically has an actual wishbone and a bowl underneath it, like it's a magic shop, showing that those are pieces that they use.
And I tap Aegard on his shoulder like, hey, we're close.
Wait, is
And
there an
point
alley
towards it.
nearby?
Not really. You can go behind the building, but it's still.
I need a place where there's not a lot of people, or there's no other people besides.
If you go behind the building, most of the people are on the docks.
Okay.
So the business front is towards the dock. So if you go behind the building, there's still a couple people, but not
Okay,
not as many.
come with me behind the building.
Do you want me to show you through the window first?
No. Come
Okay.
behind the building.
Okay. All right. I just follow Aegard.
Now, are you I've realized that there are people who are frightened of spiders. Are you scared of spiders? Kadie, not Jess.
They're icky. But is it gonna be you?
Hold out your hand.
Okay.
And Aegard puts his hand on Kadie's hand and says, "Remember, this is me, and I will not harm you."
Okay.
And then I wild shape into a tiny spider.
That's not a CR that you have to roll for, right? That's a pretty low CR.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a 0.
And you can't talk to me in
cannot.
common, right?
Nope. No.
Brakka.
But
Brakka.
can you maybe roll perception? I'm sorry, this is your thing.
You can roll perception if you want.
You don't want Kadie to roll perception.
No, I do. There's just.
I mean, you two can roll perception. You're on her shoulder, so you can still see
God.
this. So if you want to roll
8.
perception, roll as well.
Well, I don't know. Well, basically, it's a spider, but it's a little bit like on the bluish hue that Aegard is.
Aegard is, yeah.
It's. I think if she were to look at it, she would see. It's just looking at her. Just
I would say at first you're a little panicked.
Yep.
sure.
And then after a second or so, Brakka actually points out that it's the similar bluish hue to Aegard's skin, and you start to kind of calm a little, but not a lot.
And do you say that to her? That the blue?
No,
Brakka.
Oh,
not
Brakka.
at first.
Okay.
Like if I notice that she's obviously super panicked, I'll say, I mean, it's Aegard.
take my little spider arm and I wave it at you.
Do you want me to hold him?
It's waving. It's
Brakka's just
Aegard? It's
Brakka's
Aegard.
gonna
It's
put out
Aegard.
his hand.
Brakka. It's Aegard. Right? It's Aegard.
Yes.
It's okay. Okay.
And I take my spider leg and point it towards the store.
Okay. All right. And she just does not. She just has her hands out still. She's not going to bring it any closer. She's like, all right, let's walk.
Do you want me to hold him?
Yes.
I mean, just put him on my shoulder.
I just like bring my hands up towards
And
Brakka.
I do the creepy spider jump.
So as this happens, you had started walking around the building.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of people that see it, but as you're going around the building, there's this dragonborn holding a spider up to a kobold that jumps on the shoulder as you walk past the front of the shop and start to approach the front door.
It's a pet. It's okay. It's fine.
Do you have the perception of the spider?
Passive perception is 12.
Okay.
So I could roll for.
Yeah, you'll have to roll here in a minute. But as you guys come around, you enter. You notice that the door is open. You don't have to push it open. It's propped open. As you walk in, you see a tabaxi standing there behind the counter in a purple robe with a staff, and they have orange ears. And as the tail kind of flicks, you see that the tail actually has orange rings that run up it towards the tip of the tail. Make a perception check real quick. Everybody that's there. Yep. Everybody that's there.
Not 20.
Oh, Jesus. 9.
13.
Nope.
So you're going to need to make
That's a
2.
6. Sorry.
2.
So hang on, before you make the second one, this one was for her expression. You are up on Kadie's shoulders. You see if you got a 15 or higher for this one, you can see that the tabaxi, immediately kind of turns her head and squints her eyes for a second, like she's looking at Kadie, and then kind of snaps out of it quickly. Not really long enough for you two to notice, because you said you got
13.
13? Yep. So you two didn't really notice. It was pretty quick. But with your natural 20, you did notice that she gave her a look. With your nat 20, I'll give you an insight check, too, for free. Go ahead and give it an insight check just to see what the look was
free.
for. Well, it's a nat 20.
Usually they're $5.
11.
11? It's not hard to figure it out. The look on her face is more of, do I know that person? For a moment, and then it disappears, and she kind of looks up, and she's like, hello, welcome to the Wishbone. How can I help you?
We're just looking around. What have you got in store today?
Oh, I have lots of magic items and things. I travel around the region and bring it here for different travelers and things coming off boats. Go ahead and make another perception check as she's talking.
Oh my god, that's worse than the other one. 4.
17.
17? You know what? This is fitting that the spider would notice this. You notice there is a small squirrel that is on top of the bookshelves that is kind of keeping an eye on you guys and just slowly moving across. Just kind of keeping an eye on everybody, but moving across. Doesn't seem to be a threat. Doesn't look like it's going to attack you, but you do clock its movement. You two don't really notice it at all. You guys are fixated, especially with your natural 20, with your perception check on what she looked like. You are fixated on her, trying to read her expression still.
Right.
And she says, I have quite a bit of magic items. I travel the land and acquire them, bring them to ports for different adventurers and things who are looking to start anew here in Ports of Orsa. And she kind of looks at you and she says, should there be 4 of you? And she kind of looks across.
Our friends are elsewhere right now, getting other provisions.
I'm sorry. I heard that there was a party of a dragonborn, a kobold. I believe it's called a furbolg from the north.
You hear a tiny.
And there's a very rare creature on this area, a leonin, and they all helped in the sewers. You two fit that description, but I don't. Are the others just in the city with you?
Yes, they're elsewhere getting some other provisions. We were looking for Brakka. Didn't you need like vials and things to put in your potions or something?
Brakka just nods.
And I want to try to do this stealthily, where I'm like giving Brakka a look to like put the spider on my shoulder, and setting Brakka down at the same time to where he can talk to.
So what we'll say is you're facing her face to face, and as you say this, you turn and you kind of do it so that your left shoulder is more pointed at her. And as you taking Brakka down, you're like kind of looking at your shoulder, like looking down, like put the spider there. Go ahead and make it'll be simple because you're able to shield it, but make a sleight of hand check.
Brakka.
I'm going to say no. It's a nat 1.
God.
Nat 1? Okay, so...
Jeez Louise.
The spider does not make it to your shoulder. As you're setting Brakka down, he goes to reach out and he bumps your shoulder, and the spider actually falls and lands on your, like, the back of your hand. So Aegard lands on the back of your hand. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's going to be crappy. 10.
It's a saving throw, though, not a check.
Yeah, I
so.
know.
Okay.
10.
So that's fine. The DC was 10 for you. It's not
good.
too hard because you knew who it was. If you didn't realize it was Aegard, the DC was going to be like 12 or 14.
Right.
But because you know it was Aegard, as it lands, you kind of start to like look real quick because you can feel, you know, when you feel stuff crawling on you, it feels like that. So you get like that feeling, and you look down real quick, and you kind of
the creepies.
you start to panic for a second, and then you pull it together. And you just kind of look at it, and you just put your hand down, and she's like, "Oh, do you have a pet spider? They're beautiful."
Yes.
Make a deception check. With that reaction.
Oh shit! Oh no! Oh no! Oh. Advantage for being cute?
What did she roll?
An 8.
You know what? She rolled a 6 and has a +0 to perception. So
yes.
she believes you. She kind of saw the spider and she's like, oh, okay, it's a very beautiful spider. And she kind of like points to the books and that stuff, and she says, what is it that you're looking for? I'm sorry, and is this, you need vials and that, is this for, are you guys getting ready to go down on the sewers, or have you already taken care of the problem?
Oh, problem's taken care of. I just need or really want more vials.
She kind of nods and she's like, "Oh, give me a moment. I was working with, I wasn't working with him because Quincy's quite a pain. But I was going to get some other wizards. I'm sorry. My name's Ringed Flame. I didn't introduce myself, and I actually work with the wizards in Tenea, and we were getting a party together to try to take care of the problem in the sewers. I've heard rumors of possible humanoid creatures. You guys wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Were there really were-rats?" And she kind of like gets quiet and hushed and like super excited and leans in, and you can tell she's like interested in it.
Is there anyone else in the shop?
No.
Oh, Brakka will just say Brakka will just nod.
Oh.
Yes, and we might be interested in magic ink too.
Oh, magic ink. Oh, I don't believe I have any of that. I have expensive ink for writing out spells, but I don't. Are you talking like magic, like disappearing ink, or?
Well, I just need. Would you happen to just have like, I don't know, just a notebook and writing supplies?
Oh, I'd have to check my private stock. I might have an empty notebook somewhere, but I do have like ink for writing spells and that. It's about.
I don't need that.
Okay,
Thank you, though.
you just need an empty book. No problem. And she kind of turns and she starts digging through the bookshelves and that.
So as she turns, her back is to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I like
Yes.
just like put my hand? Is there like a shelf or something near me?
Mm-hmm.
Can I like kind of just like
You
look like I'm browsing and be like trying to fling this thing? Not fling it, but trying to be like, hey, get off of me.
Do you take the hint?
So that you can crawl. Right? Or are you wanting me to get
I
closer?
got a 19 for insight, so I'm going to
Okay,
say
I was going to say 10 or above.
yeah, okay. So I get on the shelf, but then Aegard gets on the shelf, and in spider form looks at you
Yeah.
and just you get two arms up in the air, like, where the hell do I go?
And that's when I'm like, I kind of, is she still turned?
Hmm? She's turned.
I point to the, like, with the hand that you just crawled off of, to the second to the left bookshelf
Okay, all right.
panel.
Before I do anything, can Aegard see what the squirrel's up to at this point?
I was going to say, you make a stealth check for the shrugging.
Oh, that's a good point.
Uh-oh, is that a spider stealth or
I don't have the stuff.
staff?
Well, stealth is just going to be dexterity, so it's just hold
Oh, okay.
on. That's a 14.
I can't think that a squirrel has more than a plus 1 or 2 for
I
perception.
don't think I have squirrel stats.
I rolled an 11, so I'm going to say that he doesn't notice that.
Okay.
But then make a perception check.
Yeah. 22.
You do see that the squirrel is clocking you, but he didn't notice the hands up. He's kind of like looking around. He's just scanning the shop.
Okay, so I want to continue to be stealthy going towards...
Okay.
Like when he's looking away, I want to try to move to a place where he can't see me.
Okay, it'll probably be like 2 checks.
Yeah.
In between here to see how... go ahead and make them now. We're going to say 12 and higher.
First one's a 12.
Okay, so that one works. Let me see. He rolled a 13 for the next one. So
Okay.
it has to be higher than 13.
19.
Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, so both of them I'll let you know when you get there, but you're able to kind of stealth around and get there here in a second. So you set the spider down. You set Aegard down, and he starts kind of making his way across the floor.
Making my way.
I knew it was coming.
He's scurrying, and then he'll do a little roll.
Yeah. You see,
Forgetting he's a spider
you've
form.
never seen a spider do this before, but as he gets there, he kind of rolls behind the leg of a
Zigzag.
chair.
Running just on the back 2 legs and like going up against things like with the other leg.
It's like the
Shimming.
back 6 legs
Oh
are
my
moving, and then the
gosh.
front 2 are like. So you guys are talking to her. She's digging through the shelves. She finds, let's see, we're gonna say 10 or higher, and I rolled a 3, so she does not find a book.
Dang.
She turns and looks at you. She says, I don't believe I have any more empty notebooks, but the Tides of Time should have some empty ones. It's just right up the block. It's not very far. If you want, I can send Percy here. And she points at the squirrel, and she's like, Percy can scamper on over and get one if you'd like.
That would be amazing.
How much would it be?
2 silver. It's not magical, correct?
It's
you
not
just need just regular paper, not for writing spells or anything.
A larger notebook.
Yeah, it would probably be about 2 silver.
That works.
Perfect.
And she kind of looks up, and you see she doesn't even say anything. She just looks at the squirrel and make an insight check because you work with RPIP.
Nat 20.
Really nice. So you're pretty sure that this is a familiar. You've seen RPIP work with other wizards and things like that before in the past when you were being raised and that stuff, and you know that some wizards have these creatures that they bring with them that are known as familiars, and you get the sense that this squirrel is more than likely a familiar.
Okay.
And it kind of nods, and you see it scamper over to the desk. And there's a little, almost like a messenger bag, but squirrel size.
Oh my gosh.
And it grabs the bag and throws it on and just scampers out the window and takes off down the street.
You said it was a red squirrel, right?
Yep, it's a red squirrel.
I'm going to ask her, how did you come across, did you summon that thing or did you befriend it?
So, originally I befriended Percy, but Percy is about 40 years old now, so
Oh my gosh.
I've brought Percy back a few times. I summon him now, but he was once a real squirrel.
Oh, he's so cute.
Thank you. He's very nice. He's a cuddler. If you'd like, when he comes back, he likes to snuggle. He's I believe the term is a guard dog. He thinks that's what he is. I've never really liked dogs personally. But,
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Vials?
Vials, yes. And she turns and she walks over to the other side of the room.
I caught that, if it makes you feel better.
Thank you, Reggie.
What?
She said that makes sense to not liking dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
No, I caught that already.
That makes sense.
So she quickly walks across the room. And as she does, she's like, I need to send a quick message real quick to the other wizards in Tanea just to let them know it's not necessary to come anymore. If you just give me a moment, and you can tell she's casting a spell, and she casts sending, and she reaches out and kind of under her breath, you hear bits and pieces of her saying the sewers have been taken care of, Port Zavorce is safe, don't worry about coming here any longer, I'll confirm and let you know if you're needed, type of thing. And she starts digging through the vials. As she sends that message is when you get to the back wall as your spider form.
Okay.
So make an investigation check. Because in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, in my mind, you are looking to see if there's a crack or something for you to get between the bookshelf that they told you it was at, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
He needs a crack to get through.
Swing and a miss on that one.
Aw. Come on, guys. Are we starting to lull down?
It's a 15.
15? So it takes you a second because it is a pretty well hidden door. But as you get towards the top, you notice that maybe the weathering in that, it started to warp a little bit on the shelves. And you can see a little crack. As a spider, you can see through it, and you can see that there is a flicker of a flame on the other side. Almost like there's a hallway or something back there.
I kind of picture it as
torch
remember in
against the wall.
Like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Little things are now very big. I figured in spider form that would be, it wouldn't be a little crack. It'd be like this.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. To you, it's massive.
Yeah.
To you in human form, you can't even see the space.
Yeah. I go in.
Okay. So you kind of go through there. As you get through to the other side, because you're so small, go ahead and roll a perception check. And while you're making that, as you get through to the other side, To the left of you, there's about 5 feet until you can see a stone wall that is about 5 feet deep, and then it cuts about 20 feet long. You can tell it's about the width of the store. It's just a small hallway back there. Directly in front of you, there is a torch on the wall. And in the upper corners, you can see a couple webs, and you can see other spiders kind of, they see you and they come down and they kind of like clock you, and you just see this kind of curious look at you as you come through. What did you roll for your
14?
14. So as you kind of glance around, you notice the stone wall continues to your right, like I said, for about another 15 feet from where you are.
And the spider has dark vision too, so that's a...
Okay. As you turn and look, you can see that there is a staircase that goes down about 10 feet. And the staircase goes down and then hooks back into the store. So it's 5 feet down and then 5 feet the opposite direction. That's about all you can see right now.
I go.
Okay. How far is your movement?
20-foot walk, 20-foot climb.
Okay, so at this point you get to the bottom of the stairs. Well, actually, how do you want to get down there? Do you want to stay on the ceiling?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I want to kind of stay up in the kind of like in the space, or not space, but like the corner of the wall and the ceiling, kind of.
Okay, so
hugging that
as you get
track.
there, you're looking straight down. Now, do you want to go down and basically come across the ceiling for the next layer? Okay, so you go across, you come down, and you're on the ceiling. Basically, if somebody was walking down, you'd be right above their head.
Right.
And as you look out, you see this large room that is about the size of the shop. About 10 feet in front of you, you see a large summoning circle. You see
Someone's got some diamonds.
a bed underneath the staircase sticking out, and you see a couple crates. You're not really sure exactly what that circle is because you are a furball. So to you, you know what? Roll insight to see if you know what it's for.
10.
10.
Ooh.
Looking at it, you know it is a circle for arcane magic. You're not sure exactly what it is, but you do know that it's some type of circle created.
Okay. I don't think I can get insight off of a non-living thing. I don't know. I want to try to just kind of get the vibe of the room. Like,
So-
am I seeing blood anywhere?
No,
Or
as
is
you
Aegard
look
seeing-
around,
okay.
there's not any blood or anything.
I keep saying I don't mean to.
There are a couple artifacts and different things that you surmise her being a magic shop owner are probably magical items. And you do see some of the chests are kind of cracked open and sideways, and there's things like rings, and there's a crown in there. There's a couple other magic items that you see that are clearly wares that she is selling or moving. She had mentioned to you guys up front that she was bringing magic items here to sell to adventurers and bringing them back to Tanea for study. So you kind of get the feeling that this might be some of those things. You're not sure what it is. But no blood, nothing overly demonic or sinister.
There's no like open books or anything. There's no.
I'll tell you what, roll another insight based on what she said.
Based on who?
Based on what she said up top about
16.
how she moved things. You feel like she's telling the truth. She's not. She's not a person that is trying to hurt or harm anyone else. She is very much a student of magic, and that is the stuff that gets her excited. That's why she got excited when she asked about the were-rats, because she had never seen one before, but she was very curious about them.
Ringed flame.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there? This is a basement. Is there like any windows to the outside?
No.
Okay.
Nope, there's one way in and one way out.
I'm heading back up then.
Okay, so it takes you a little bit to get up there, but as you guys get
And
up
actually,
there...
I'm going to go all the way up into the store and
Okay.
then leave the store.
Okay, so it'll take you a little bit to do that, but
right.
as that's happening, she's grabbing the vials for you, and she turns, she says, how many vials would you like?
How much is each one?
For you folks who have helped the city, I'd say 2 copper. It's an empty vial. It's not full of anything.
Maybe like 20?
Oh.
If you have that many?
Let me see. And she turns and she starts digging through stuff. She turns back and she says, I can do 20.
Are you sure? I don't want to take too much of your stock.
They're empty vials. If they're not full of anything, I don't mind. I have plenty.
Okay.
And she kind of puts them in a bag and she turns. And as she's doing this, she begins to cast again, and both of you can make a perception check.
22.
13.
Okay, 12 or higher, because she's not trying to hide anything. Let's see what volume she does it at. What were your perception rolls again?
22.
13.
Ooh, you're close.
Close.
With a 22?
She has a +9 to stealth.
Holy.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And I rolled a 14, so
Okay.
23, right?
Oh,
Damn
yeah.
cats.
Just barely.
Dang.
Those cats.
So I will say what you do pick up is she is using Draconic, and you understand a couple words here and there.
Do you?
So
Okay.
yeah, because
Do
you
speak
two
Draconic?
both
you're-
speak Draconic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, I know I do. I just.
No, Brakka does.
Brakka pick up the word Corinne, Kadie, proven capable, on right path.
Okay. Brakka will just make a mental note of that.
So she casts sending, which you guys see because she had cast sending to the wizards before.
Right.
Katie, you probably just assume that that's what she's doing. Again, just as somebody else, you pick up those words, and she turns and hands you a bag of 20 empty vials.
Okay.
Holds them out to you, and she says, "It's 4 silver, I believe."
How much do you want me to pay you for you going to get or your familiar going to get the notebook as well?
Sure, just 2 silver's fine with that. Paper's a little expensive.
Do you have change for gold?
Of course.
Okay. I'll just give her gold and ask for change back.
So she walks over to her little pouch and drops the gold in and pulls 4 silver out and sets them on the counter and slides them over to you. She's like, is there anything else I can help you with? And it's at this point, as they're exchanging, that you're like right across behind out the door, and you're in front of the shop now.
Would you happen to have any just non-magical ink? I forgot if I asked that.
Yes, it's 2 silver.
How long would it last?
I guess it depends on the climate, but it comes in a vial like I just gave you, but with a stopper, so it should last a little bit.
As long as something to write with as well.
Yes, I can throw in a quill. That's no problem. Just 2 silver.
Okay. I'll give her 2 silver for that.
Make a perception check.
Both of us?
Nope, just Jess.
Oh, jeez. 8.
You don't see it.
So Aegard wants to get outside, go around, again, the back of the building. He wants to get to a point where no one can see him.
Okay, there's some people, but again, your roll a stealth check, and it's not hard because they're pretty distracted.
13?
13's fine.
Okay.
Can I roll to... Because I would be trying to kind of just clock when he comes back out.
That was what your perception check was
Oh,
for.
then no, I did not see you.
Okay. So whenever I feel like I'm in the clear, I'm going to go back. I'm going to drop my wild shape
Okay.
and go back into Aegard and then go to the shop.
Okay. So, as you give her the other 2 silver, and she gives you the vial of ink with a quill, Aegard walks in the door. She says, "Oh, you must be with these two. You're the furbolg of the group, correct?"
Correct. I am Aegard.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Ringed Flame. Thank you for what you've done for this city.
Oh, of course. It was nothing.
She kind of extends her paw, to shake your hand.
I shake it.
And she shakes your hand, and she kind of looks around. She says, "Is there anything else I can do for you folks?"
I'll just, I guess, wait around and look at things here while your familiar returns.
Oh yes, of course. He shouldn't be too long. Percy's pretty quick. Also, if you guys don't mind, you seem to have proven yourself capable. I do know of an issue that's gone on. If it's not too much to ask of you to investigate.
Is it?
I don't know what you're wanting to do.
Is it within the town?
No, it's not here. It's in Avorgos. It's a couple days ride east.
I will be willing to hear. And whenever you are done, I have a couple of things that I would like your assistance with, please.
Why don't we take care of your business first? What would you like first?
Well, I have this knife and this spear that I've recently come into my possession.
Oh, of course.
I'd like to see if you could tell me what they are.
Well, normally I charge for that, but for you guys help save the city, I could do it without it.
If I need to pay, that is fine. I do not want to take advantage.
Most people need to use components, but I'm a little special. She kind of holds her hands out for the items.
I hand him.
She walks over to a table, and you see her slide a bowl over and start putting a couple of materials in it, and she starts to cast Identify. As she's doing that, the squirrel comes back in, and you see it get up on the counter, open the bag, and his head goes in, and it just completely disappears, and he pulls, and you see it should not fit in this bag.
Right.
Like, you know, there's no way it fits in this bag, and as he pulls it out, the book starts to slowly grow, and as he gets it all the way out, there is an empty notebook just sitting on the counter.
Does this say squirrel-sized bag of holding?
Yes.
I love it. That's
So,
great.
are you reaching for it?
Yeah.
So as you reach for it, you see the squirrel kind of stomps his foot like near you and kind of looks at you, and you hear from across the shop, "Percy, they've paid." And then you see the squirrel kind of let up and kind of scoots back and grabs his bag and hops under the counter and puts it back away where it was, and hops back up, scurries over to the shelf, and pops back up on top where he was.
Brakka just put in his bag of holding.
Okay. Takes about 20 minutes, and she comes back and she's like, you have some very interesting items here. And she explains them to you. A very interesting knife. I believe it's called the Battle Chef Field Dresser. It does some pretty cool stuff, but I don't know exactly what it is. I'd have to look into the books a little more. But again, it's called the Battle Chef Field Dresser. You might be able to, if you're ever near Tanea, ask them, and they could tell you exactly what it is. And this spear, it is
more sensual than Connor.
This spear is magical. This spear actually casts a bright light in a 15-foot radius if you're in the moonlight, and the spear actually pierces through the darkness. So it should allow you some vision if it's too dark. Maybe if you guys are setting out camp in the wild, you could set up the spear and you'll be able to see around that spear for about 15 feet. It's pretty...
Rainflame, thank you very much.
Of course, thank you for what you've
Are
done.
you sure
for
I
us.
cannot pay you something for this?
If you'd like, 2 silvers, perfectly fair.
Yeah. I give her 2 silver.
Thank you.
Aegard
puts it
does.
in her
God, I
bag.
keep dropping in and out of that. Sorry.
So she takes the 2 silver from Aegard and puts it in her pouch. Is there anything else you guys want to do while you're here?
I don't really think so. Brakka will just look around the shop for a little longer, just looking at what she has before we leave.
I'd say it probably took you guys about 5-10 minutes to walk here, and you've been here for about 40 minutes.
Would you happen to have a book on druidic magic? I've not actually heard of such a thing, but...
She goes over to the shelf and just starts thumbing through books real quick. She pulls one out, and she says, I have this, it's an old book. I haven't really had the time to read it. It's just here, kind of on the shelf. I've been meaning to get to it. I've been so busy, but if you're interested, I have it, but you don't have to take it if you don't want it. I'm not sure what all is in it.
Can you take a look at it?
Hmm?
Okay. How much would the book be?
4 gold.
Oh, okay. He just flips through it really quickly, and I appreciate it. Maybe another time I will come back. Thank you.
She kind of nods. She's like, oh, okay. And kind of puts it back on the shelf where it is. You guys want to do anything else, or are you just kind of fishing up, getting ready to head back?
I'm waiting for Brakka to be done browsing.
Man,
So
I'm
Kadie's
just looking at random stuff. That's about it.
So we say you guys probably browse for another 5 minutes or so, and start to head back to Finley's.
But
Or
before
you
we
going somewhere
head
else?
back,
Sorry.
I just want to look to Kadie. If you want to go ahead, I'll catch up. I just want to.
I'm okay.
Are we outside at this point of the
No.
store?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Okay. I was just going to have a conversation with the shopkeep for a little bit about.
Oh, okay. Are you going to be okay by yourself?
Mhm. Yeah.
Or do you want Aegard to stay in
No.
here? No.
Fine,
Do you want us to wait outside?
if you want to.
Okay. Aegard, do you want to just come wait outside with me?
Sure.
So you two walk out of the shop, and you're kind of you're taken aback because while it's loud and it seems chaotic, there's also some strange organization to the crates coming on and off ships, the yelling and that stuff. And you see there really is a system, but it's a very chaotic system at this port as far as getting the ships unloaded, the fish off in carts, and moving up and down.
Well, Aegard, I think, would be, well, not an expert at all, having spent recently a couple weeks at sea, I think would be somewhat used to kind of the hustle and bustle of it. I don't think it would catch him too off guard.
For the most part, but this is a pretty busy fish
bigger.
port.
Sure.
So it's more the offloading of the fish and the nets and everything, and you're like, whoa, what is that? Because you guys were on a primarily like a cargo ship versus a fishing vessel. Okay. A lot of these that are coming in are fishing vessels that you're seeing right now.
Aegard would actually like to get a closer look then.
Yeah, you can walk up and
then as we're going, he'd like to tell Kadie what he saw down in the secret room.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys want to RP that real quick, and then we'll go back to Brakka with the shopkeep?
We can.
That's good.
Okay.
Whichever order.
Kadie, would you come with me to the ships? I'd like to see what they're doing. I can tell you what I saw behind the bookcase.
Sure. Okay. I'm just gonna quickly tell Brakka that we're gonna walk down, and I'll just like open. Well, I just peek my head in, I guess, because the door's open. Brakka, we're just gonna go head to the ports and look at the ships for a minute.
Brakka just turns around and gives you a thumbs up.
Okay. All right, so I start walking with Aegard. Or Kadie does, sorry.
And Aegard just goes on to explain that behind the bookcase there was a hallway. Met some fellow spiders. That was nice.
Oh.
There's a lot in that hallway.
I'm so glad you went. Yeah.
There is a room down some stairs.
Okay.
Below the actual shop.
The secret room?
There were 6 other spiders that I saw there. So it is good that you did not go.
Yeah.
And basically that is where I believe Ringflame lives, because there was a bed down there. I did see a circle that looked like it was used for some sort of magic, some other magical items possibly, but I did not see anything that was where I feel that she would be doing the town any harm. I think she is just a merchant.
Okay. So Brakka was right. It was just a bedroom.
I think so.
And whatever circle she likes to swing around in, she's doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad you got to see it. I'm glad we know what's there.
Me too. I was very curious.
Good. I'm glad. I completely forgot about it by the time we left. So I'm glad you brought it up again.
The second Kadie said something to Aegard about it, he did not forget. Very curious. Very curious.
So we'll go to Brakka with Ringflame. As they leave the store, Ringflame is she's putting the book back that Aegard was like, oh, maybe I'll come back for. And she starts kind of tidying things up, and you see her kind of wiping dust off shelves and things like that.
Brakka will just kind of walk up and I guess just kind of wait for her to be done with what she was doing. And then he'll finally ask, so, do you know Kadie? And
dang it, he said my name.
She kind of jumps for a second because she didn't realize you were behind her, because I rolled low perception. But she turns and looks at you and she says,
because when we entered, you were kind of taken aback by seeing specifically her.
I've known a family of Dragonborns for some time now, and she reminded me of them.
Well, reminded, you said her name specifically, so do you know her?
She kind of stops and gives you a look like, wait.
Came in with receipts.
She's like, how? Do you know who she is?
Do I know who she is? She is Kadie. She is a Dragonborn. She does exist, yes.
She looks at you and she says, Kadie Drethruk, her family is an important family in the Tavara Monastery. They have been one of the top families for some time now as far as training and protecting the realm of Manassas. This is where we're going to end the first episode of Cocked, a Real Play D&D podcast. We've learned that during the last adventure in Port Savorsa, the party has made some friends, met others who were gearing up to deal with the problem, and uncovered a secret that even some of the players did not know before meeting an owner of a magic shop. Thank you for listening, and tune in next week to uncover more secrets about the party in the Lands of Manassas. If you want to support the show further, please follow our Instagram pages at cockedofficial_ and at thefatesroll_official. If you're feeling generous and want to help the show monetarily, please go become a Patreon subscriber. The link will be included in our episode description. Also, please follow my personal page at C18DRE or at C18Dre, as I will be releasing some shop owners and other important individuals of the Lands of Manassas as I finish painting them. And finally, a big thank you to our friend Jose Adriano, who provided the cover art for the show. You can see more of their work on Instagram at MSZEMO. Thank you again for listening to the first episode of Cocked, a Real Play D&D podcast.